All right, let's get started. We're going to do E1712. So let me share my screen. And I'm just going to go to a blank one and work it from scratch. So let's take a look. I got to find it in my book. So E1712 is for someone named Stanley Mills. That's a nice name. And the first thing it says is Clark has a defined benefit pension plan, and the formula is 1.2% times service years times final year salary. So it says Stanley was hired in 1999. He's expected to retire in 2043 after 45 years of service. He started in 1999. His retirement years total 15. So that means in 2058, he dies. All right, interesting. So the end of 2018, after 20 years of being hired, of working, his salary is $80,000. Projected salary at retirement is $270,000. And then the rate we're going to use is 7%. So it says estimate the amount of his annual retirement payments for the 15 years earned as of December of 2018. So the first thing we need to use is our pension formula. And the formula is 1.2% times the number of years of service. And it says that he has worked now for 20 years times his final year salary. So I'm trying to decide if I want to use the ABO or the PBO, but the first couple of them talk about the PBO because number 4 says, even though pension accounting centers on the PBO, the ABO has to be disclosed, and then it asks us to go with the ABO. So we're going to go ahead and use his final year salary. So if we take 0.012 times 20 times 270,000, this is his annual amount. So he will get this for his retirement years, which are from 2043 to 2058. 15 years, okay? So what we'll want to do is estimate the amount of his retirement payments. And then number 2 says, suppose that Clark's pension plan permits a lump sum payment at retirement in lieu of annuity payments. Determine the lump sum payment equivalent as the present value as of the retirement date of his annuity payments during the retirement period. So this would be bringing them all back to 2043. So number 2 is find the present value of those retirement payments. So we'll find the present value. So we'll use PV. And the rate used is 7%. He's going to be in his retirement years for 15 years, and the amount of his payment is negative $64,800. So the present value is $590, $192.83. I know I did that kind of fast, and I know you can pause, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it back up. I have 7%, 15 years, and every year he's going to get $64,800. He's going to get that money for 15 years in total. So if we bring that all back to his retirement date, the value of his retirement plan on that day would be $590, $192.83. And so then it wants to know what is the PBO. So bring number 2 back to today, which is 2018. So bring it back, let's see, from 43 to 2018. I think that's 25 years. Oops. Yep, 25 years. So bring it back 25 years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the present value of that. Again, the rate is 7%, 25 years. It is not a payment. I'm just bringing the $590,000 back to today. So I'm going to hit negative and then click on that to bring it back to today. And the PBO is 108,742.54. So this is the PBO. And so this is the amount, the projected benefit obligation that he should have in his retirement account in 2018. So what we would need to do is we would need to look at the plan assets for Stanley, and we'd look to see how much is in there and then see how much we need to deposit in there to get it to the right number. So that next year we'll have to deposit a little more, a little more, and a little more. And eventually in 2043, when he retires, there better be $590,000 in there, and then he can pull out $64,800 each year for his 15 years of retirement, and then all the money would be dwindled away. So number 4 says, even though pension accounting focuses on the PBO, the ABO is disclosed. What is the ABO at the end of 2018 with respect to Stanley? So now what we need to do is we need to do steps 1 through 3 for the ABO instead. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take 1.2% times 20 years times, instead of the 270,000, the only difference is we use the 80,000. Which is his current pay instead of his projected pay. So 0.012 times 20 times 80,000. And that's 19,200. And then we need to bring that back to today, or not back to today, I'm sorry, we bring that back to 2043, and then we bring it back to 2018. So this is using ABO. Let's put for ABO, use current salary, not projected, in pension formula. And then we'll find present value of getting 19,200 per year for 15 years. And that's between 2043 and 2058. And then the last step is bring that number back to today, which is 2018. Bring it back 25 years. So first thing, find the present value. Again, the rate used is 7% for this whole problem. And he's going to be in his retirement years for 15 years. And the amount of that payment is negative 19,200. So now instead of 590,000, we only have 174. That's a huge difference. And then from there, we find the present value and bring that back to today, which is 2018. So again, 0.07, we're bringing it back 25 years. And the future value number, it's not a payment. You're not going to get $174,000 a year. That's the value in the future, and we're bringing it back to today. So click on that cell. And the answer for this one is the 32,000. Okay, so here's the answer here, here, and here. So there's my answers for 1 through 4. So what do we have to do in 5? If we assume no other changes, what's the PBO in 2019? All right, find PBO in 2019. So what we'll do is we're going to do all the steps. So the pension formula will be 1.2% times 21 years times 270,000. And then step 2, find present value of that pension formula. And still for 15 years of retirement, 2043 to 2058. And then bring that back to today, which is 2019. Bring back 24 years instead of 25. Okay, so starting off, 0.012 times 21 years, because he's a year closer to retirement, times the 270,000. The projected salary must be the same because it said we didn't change any of our estimates. So now instead of 64,800, I have 68,040. He's still retired for 15 years though. He's not going to die a year earlier or anything like that. So we're going to do 0.07 for 15 years of retirement, and that payment is negative 68,040. And so now instead of 590, I have 619. And then I need to bring it back to today, which is not 2018, now it's 2019. So we're gonna bring it back 24 years instead of 25 years. And it's not a payment, it's just one time, negative 619,702.47. So now the answer for the PBO is 122. So it had 108 in there and now it grew to 122. So if we were looking at Stanley's actual account, if we were all caught up and we had the right number in there in 2018, that $108,000 would be in an account and it would grow because of interest. So apparently we think that it would grow all by itself, 108,742.54. It would grow by 7% all alone. So if I take it times 1.07, it would grow to 116,354.52 all by itself. So I would need to deposit about $6 grand in there on Stanley's behalf so that it can grow the next year by the right number. So a lot of times students are like, you got to deposit $122,000 in there? No. The only reason why you would have to deposit $122,000 in there is if you haven't put any in for the last 20 years for Stanley, because that's what his account should have in it at the end of 2019. Okay. So if all's going well, it should have enough in there that you only have to put in about 6. What portion of the 2019 increase is attributable to service and what is for interest? Oh, that's what I was just doing. Ha ha ha. Okay. So basically for number 6, it said what amount, let's go back here, of the 2019 increase is because of service versus interest. So what we would look at is PBO beginning, and then we would look at interest would go into there, service would go into there to get PBO ending. So the two things that always go in the PBO are service cost and interest cost. So PBO beginning should have been 108,742.54, and PBO ending should be 122,172.25. So this is the answer from number 3, and this is the answer from number 5. Okay, and so interest, find me first, 7% of beginning balance. So basically we should earn 7% on the 108. We should earn 7% on that because our account earns 7% interest. So that much should go in there all by itself. And then we say, solve for me. Plug. That's not how you spell plug. Okay. So these 3 numbers total should equal 122, 172.25. And so this is just an unknown. So just whatever is left out of there. So 5817.73. So I said you'd have to deposit around $6,000 into there, because when you add up these 3, it should equal 122,172.25. So this is the amount that's service cost. So what portion is attributable to service and then to accrued interest? So, all right, that's it for exercise 1712. I think that's a great question. So I hope that that makes sense. I hope it was a lot like the last page of your notes and like the problem we did for Jessica Farrow early on in our notes. And so I hope that worked. All right, thank you.